Hi, my name is Kinga and today I'm going to be talking to you about The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by Victoria Schwab. This is a very popular and quite a divisive book, so I was excited to see it win our first round of the Roundtable Read. I've been meaning to read that book for years now, and I finally read it this year. So I don't think I need to recount the plot really, but I will just for the sake of having it all here. So Addie LaRue follows this young girl in France in the 1700s, where she is off to be married to some guy in her village, but she doesn't want that. She's quite a dreamer, she wants to be an artist and doesn't want to participate in the society just yet. So she prays to God that they will get her out of this marriage. And one god, or rather a devil, responds. Addie trades her soul for immortality, but the catch is that nobody ever remembers her. Until one day in 2014, somebody finally does. We follow two timelines, one in the 1700s and one in 2014, and personally, I prefer the 2014 way more. I had struggles to get into this book. The first 200 pages were just so boring to me because even though we had this interesting Faustian deal, Addie was just so whiny and boring and blamed the devil Luke for everything that happened to her, even though she literally asked for it. And it is quite her fault that she didn't make amends for the devil. I mean, who could have predicted what would he do? But still, it's not like she had to go out of her way to make that deal with the devil. So truly, it is her fault. So she just blamed the devil for everything, and honestly, that was just so annoying to hear about, especially since her life wasn't that difficult. I mean, it was at first, but later she truly found everything and started using the fact that nobody remembered her to steal and to get off things that really were crimes, but well, and I just did not like her as a character at all. So it was hard until we met the second main character, Henry. Following Addie around was so uninteresting, even though there was so much potential. We learned that she apparently had many meetings with famous artists and musicians and painters and everything, even politicians, I guess. And yet, what we really see is her romantic endeavors here and there, and her arguments with the devil. So truly, there was just so much potential to make it a very whimsical and fun story about meeting all of these cool artists that have lived through all of this time. And it also had the potential to be a very heavy social commentary on colonialism, on the white culture, and yet it wasn't. I've seen many reviewers, especially reviewers of color, mentioning that as well, and I was quite prejudiced of this book because of that, because, well, those are such important parts, and just to not acknowledge them at all was quite disappointing. It was also disappointing to not see Addie participating in social movements such as the 1960s sexual revolution, especially since Addie was bisexual, and that was one thing that we had in common. But, well, throughout reading this book, I've discovered that Victoria Schwab wasn't trying to make a political statement out of this book. They were trying to write a love story, and I think that this part of the book was beautiful. There could have been just more substance to this book. That brings me to the second lead, Henry. Henry was a very precious, cute guy who was very gone for Addie, and to be fair, she was very gone for him as well. Their romance was very sweet, and I liked the fact that they just found solace in each other, and they were very cute. Victoria Schwab writes very cute romances, and I just have to give it to them because, yeah, they're sweet. And The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue was very much about a person actually seeing you. And that was important for both Henry and Addie, and that's what connected them together. The romance was my favorite part of the book, partially because they were so sweet, but also partially because Addie finally wasn't annoying. I did like the journey that she went through, and I think that really built her character, and I really liked the resolution of the story. I felt like Addie finally had the character growth I was waiting for through the whole book, and she finally became that strong character who stood for herself. And that's what I just liked seeing because it felt quite reassuring. Overall, I enjoyed this story, although it felt very long at times, but in the other, I was just enjoying the little sweet moments that Henry and Addie had together. Ultimately, this book was about falling in love with a person, but also with life, and I think that's just very sweet. I'm not sure if I recommend this book per se, but if you're on the bench of reading it, I say go for it because it's not a waste of time. And those were all of my thoughts about Addie LaRue. I hope that you enjoyed this video and see you in my next one. Bye!